And here we go with game number one, ladies and gentlemen. NTR versus RBMK. As we look in here at RBMK, already seeing some of those things we were talking about, Raptor. So we got a 3DD setup with the Shima, the Daring, and the Marceau. And then we've got that one Petro, one Moskva, one Des Moines, and an Henri, intriguingly enough. But look at that battleship. There's that St. Vincent I mentioned EU had been bringing out a lot. And, of course, the Kremlin to round out the comp for that ability to tank.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. On the opposing side, green here spawning up to the north. This is NTR. They're bringing their requisite Ohio and a Yamato for their battleships. Double Des Moines, Moskva, and Nevsky. Plenty of radar. Goodness gracious. Daring, Shima, and a Vampire Deuce, which is a pick. I like the Vampire Deuce for cap contesting. And I feel like it's a ship that is still a little underutilized in this kind of format. So I'm glad to see it coming in here.
I just recently picked up the Vampire myself, and I'm loving it when I'm playing it in randoms or last season in ranked, and so I'm definitely excited to see how this goes. But very analogous to the Daring in that sense, some differences to it, but it is, as you said, it's an excellent cap contesting DD.
Now, one of the things that Snoopy's Vampire on the edge of this cap's going to have to look out for a little early, he's going to be able to block it, but this is Maltz's Moskva off to the south, approaching the A-cap. He's probably in range of that radar. Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. So if they want to push him off that cap, they can.
When we press Alt and you see all these white lines, that is the radar range of the various ships in live time, how far the radar reaches away so you can see what's going on.
Indeed, and now one of the things that we're going to have to work with, and you're going to have to help us out, have a little patience, is that when there's a lot of radars on the board, I mean, that's a lot of radar coverage. So figuring out kind of whose it comes from may take a second or two. So bear with us while we work with this one. This is a new mod for us.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing some shots open up here at C, which has been capped by RBMK to start, which Marceau capping is always intriguing to see. But we see the Henri starting to open up, try to burn that Nevsky of Comet down and get him away from the cap and protect the Marceau. Shima's going to outspot that Marceau by a country mile, though, here in a second.
Yeah, a little bit of fire being exchanged here across the middle of the board. Chex Rex getting the better of Snoopy and a bit of a gun engagement. They were able to reset checks, but there comes the radar from Maltz himself getting farmed down a bit, as that's going to probably push Snoopy off this cap and allow checks to pick it up here. So it looks like RBMK is going to pick up a bit of an early lead.
Yep, and then Moskva radar down at A is spotting the Daring as well. So the Daring of Run for Your Life is living up to his namesake and making sure he gets out and away from A so that he doesn't get smacked.
Yep. RBMK doing a really good job with early cap control, but NTR here doing a really good job of farming down Maltz's Moskva right now. I mean, look at this poor guy. We're 4 minutes in, and he's below half HP, and his next heal is 60 seconds away.
Not just that, it's the double Des Moines behind the island that are so hard to see, and then you still have the Vampire that's sneaking the shots through, so it's down to half health. He's already burned his damage control party, so that next fire is sitting there perma and going to take him down to under 20k.
Incredibly cheeky of them to be doing this. Now, the struggle is we're not even 5 minutes in, and NTR has given up complete board control. They've got to be very, very cautious about this, because when you do this, you put the game on a timer. And it means that in basically about 5 minutes or so, well, now then they stepped onto the A cap with the Shimakaze. That helps. But like, if you let the opposing team tick up all 3 caps for any serious length of time, you're gonna regret it.
Oh yeah, that's a way I've seen so many games that are winnable end for the team that was in the better position because they just sacked so much cap time. And we see a radar coming out here from Bloodbath McGrath. He's going to catch the Daring of Run for Your Life again in A. We'll see if the Moskva and Shima are going to open up onto him. Here come the shells in. They're going to see what they can get off of him, already down to 2/3 HP.
Run for Your Life doing a really good job with those conga line torps, trying to get them in on Maltz, but it's going to cost him some more health, as they've successfully also managed to push Snoopy back off the B cap completely. Check Rex absolutely getting the better of this engagement here at B.
Now, one thing I really love about RBMK's positioning is I love this Kremlin spot. You've got the Moskva that's now being forced to back up for NTR because Bloodbath McGrath has the angle on him, but the Kremlin being there is denying the ability for NTR to move their ships too far forward, because if they cross that gap between the 1 and 2 islands on G and H, that Kremlin can just open up and delete them if they're not careful.
The conga line torps are starting to come in on Maltz now. Let's see how many of them are going to land or reach. He's going to take 2 in the bow. No! Oh my goodness! They literally ran out less than a meter from his bow. Unbelievable.
And that feels bad. Checks Rex dodging torps in the middle from the Vampire 2. That trade's still going firmly in his control. But that's a moment, I played enough DDs. That's the moment you're like, oh, I'm about to smash him. And then it just runs out and it's so painful. And I have to say, I mean, you talked about it already, Raptor. We look at these 3 caps, and they're still ticking up. It's a 250-point lead right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. RBMK has just got a stranglehold on these caps, and NTR's really struggling to find a way in here. They're doing a great job farming down Maltz, and they're sticking these destroyers in here, trying to hold back as much of the points gain as they can. But they really need to start making some inroads here. If they can get Maltz off the board, I think they have a shot at picking up A and maybe holding it.
But right now, at this point, just A is not going to be enough. You're going to have to be able to start rotating, and we're seeing that gunfight happen again in mid at B. Yep. We might see first blood here if that Vampire can't back away.
Snoopy's absolutely been on the wrong end of most of these gunfights. Check's doing a great job managing his detection and abusing his heals in order to get an advantage here, and it's working. And now the Shima up at C finally starting to get an advantage and flipping that cap for NTR.
That cap will be taken over. Marceau will try to back in, but with Imperator Steven being down to 22k, that makes it harder and harder to push in.
I just noticed they had farmed the Petro down as well, so both of RBMK's long-range radars starting to look a little rough here, but they have a 300-point lead.
Watch these torps in here on the Marceau.
Oh, he should be okay. Got the line. Yeah. Man, that's some impressive ship handling to thread that needle. Look at that. Well done,
and
Jeb.
There's the first kill. Maltz has finally gone down.
They do finally bag the Moskva down today. That's a huge kill for NTR. They needed that. They needed to get that radar off the board. And now, 8 minutes gone in this game, every single cap contested, no one gaining points whatsoever. They're comes in a radar.
Yoda Ghost going to have to leave briefly. Run for your life should be good to dodge the Shima Torps with the Hydro going. But here comes the radar from the Des Moines to spot Run for your life. We'll see if they can get any shots on him.
They do just barely have him in range, and I do mean barely. He just sailed out of it right there. They're going to get a few shots into him.
But they're going to definitely took the worst end of the trade there.
And they're going to push Yoda far enough back off the cap that Run for your life will eventually be able to just reverse back in and pick this up. Now, he doesn't know it yet, but he's actually got the ability. There's a little sliver of space here. We can see it, that he can get into the cap and not be radared. In fact, he's about to find it right now.
Yep, he's going to duck back in and start taking that. That points lead's still sitting about 250. But one thing I've been watching, Raptor, is those health pools. RBMK was running a 20 to 30,000 health point lead for a while now. But you look at it, we've seen NTR just poke into the lead by about 7k.
Yep. Well, and they're pushing Dark Cedo's Ohio down the 2 line here. They're starting to focus out Bloodbath's Des Moines. I think if they can get him off the board, that'll be a big pickup, but it's going to cost Dark Cedo a lot of HP to pull that off.
Yeah, and with the Ohio, I mean, 457 millimeters will do a lot of damage if they get the right angle on it, but the Des Moines is going to give back quite a lot as well. And if that Kremlin of Ocean pushes up at the right time.
That was a good hit there, about 10, 12k right through the bow. Of course, the 457s can overmatch the Des Moines bow. Kremlin joining in there. Ohio heel ticking.
High heel, 8 seconds left on it.
If they can get Bloodbath off the board and retain the Ohio and keep him in play, then I think they've got a decent shot at this. But they need. Here's this salvo's a big one. There it is. That's what they needed.
Boom.
That's what they needed. So now a 2-ship lead. Let's see if NTR now needs to try and preserve this battleship, get it back behind cover. It's going to be a tough ball. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think the Kremlin is eventually going to pick him up.
I think the Kremlin's going to pick him up. The interesting thing is that Des Moines going to try to eat this torp here to protect the Ohio. Looks like Ooh.
No, he's not.
Those have
Cetos,
range, yeah.
they do. The Ceto. Oh, they don't have the
No.
range. Wow. And for the moment, Ceto is dark. They can't spot him. His next heal just came up, and there he goes. Wow. Really solid play there.
That's trust. If they knew that they had the range to protect, that's trust from the Des Moines not eating that and preserving the health pool.
Little bit of drama.
Oh, Nevsky of Komet, though. Keep an eye on that. He just got smacked to 8K.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bit of drama up at C as well. Jebs Marceau getting pretty low now. He's in the cap flipping it over, but I'm telling you, Hammer could probably win that gunfight if he had to. RBMK pushing into C now.
Yeah. Hammer could win that in a 1v1, definitely agree, but the problem is that Henri's so close that if Hammer tries it, he can't risk it right now.
Indeed. 8.5 minutes to play, and NTR is back in this game on the strength of 1 cap and 2 kills. Still 130 points down, but they are not out yet. They need to pick up a kill. They might get it here on Jeb. Oh, my goodness. Big hit on Jeb. There he goes.
Ooh.
There he goes. Big Yemi hit there, followed up by the Nevsky shells. And now it's a 3-ship lead and 4-ship lead as they finally pick up the Kremlin down south. NTR just patient and picking up the kills.
There's a phrase that I love to hear when I'm watching football: bend, don't break. I mean, NTR is definitely bent there for a while.
Oh,
but,
for sure.
They've rocked it back, and you're going to see this A squad move up into B, which is going to deny Yoda Ghost's positioning.
Yeah,
and all the work that Chex Rex has been doing is just going to naught for right now.
He's been putting on a clinic in how to play daring in that position, and it's been beautiful to watch. But it took 12.5 minutes for RBMK to pick up their first kill. That's a testament to how well NTR has played and preserved their ships in this game. But I don't think it's going to matter because the firepower advantage is simply too extreme at this point.
I think you're right. I think you're right there. We'll see. I mean, you look across the mod and you just see the health bars. It looks like a mountain for variety there.
I mean, admittedly, RBMK has about the same amount of HP. They just have fewer ships containing it, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's where the DPS or the DPM, if you prefer, comes in. Not having that ability to be putting out as much with that health is really going to hurt them. A little bit of a hit onto the Moskva, but you can see this push coming in. Chex and Yoda are just starting to retreat and try to preserve themselves.
I'm pretty confident they are going to lose this Nevsky because they can spot him again now. Yep, Dorain's turning his bow guns. There goes the next salvo. I'm really sure they're going to lose this Nevsky here in a moment, and that's going to make a big impact. Yep.
There he goes.
So now what had been playing as an east-west battle becomes a north-south battle through the B cap. And let's see if Yoda can preserve his ship long enough to get out of there. Doesn't look like it. No.
Nope, he can't. I mean, it was beautiful handling from him, but when you have 5 different ships that are trying to pour shots in on your area,
it's tough.
It's just too much.
That's a lot of shells to dodge.
Yeah. Now, points lead is still in the favor of RBMK. They're up to 750 points, up by about 120. And that health lead, but it's really, can they find the kills on ships? Because they need to get that spotting out and get rid of that vampire, that daring, that Moskva that are all so low, but they're not in a position right now for it. And with Hammer able to just dump torps on the flank and harass and be that constant just worry in the back of their brains, it's going to make it a lot harder for RBMK to do anything in mid.
Yeah, well, this is also going to be our first chance to, I think, see what St. Vincent can really do. Because in my mind, if RBMK is going to win this game, they're going to win it on the back of the plays that Aldo Rain is going to make here in the next 5-ish minutes, or not, one way or another.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, he's already executing one of the best things, which is the super heal on the Vincent, or the improved heal on the Vincent, turning out there. But I think it's going to be too much DPS here.
Well, I don't know. He's getting away with it. I mean, he's come in. He's made an impact. He's having to turn away. Shimakaze torpedoes going in on Blazin. He does take 1 there with his hydro up. So now
Imperator does a radar, find yet.
I was going to say, we're about to be, like I said, it's a north-south battle now. Czech Rex going to provide a little bit of smoke to sneak their surviving radar up, and this is the Petro's last radar. So that's it. They're out of radar in terms of RBMK has no other way to spot destroyers going in here. Mm-hmm. Calicado has 1 radar left if he needs it. And No Muertos Des Moines is here with 3 charges. I don't see how they pick up this cap. With that much radar sitting here?
It's not just the radar, it's also the brilliant positioning. You got radar cruisers on either side of that island at F5. Yeah. You got the Des Moines that's pushing up the corner and is going to go to that island on the edge of F6. And the Ohio just sitting in the back like the QB, able to lob shells downtown onto anything that threatens.
Yeah, and Cito's playing smart too. Like, he's dark for the moment. Okay, there he goes. He's taking the salvo now, but he had gone dark.
Well, watch out. Run for your life is charged in, and he's about to go down.
What is he doing? I think that was accidental. I think he was coming back in here trying to maybe get behind and sneak back through and back cap C, and accidentally ran into check Rex.
Yeah, and I mean, that gives a little bit of time, and now RBMK is back in line to win according to Score Timer with just 3 minutes and change left.
It's going to be a narrow win, but it's at this point they've got to farm this Petro out. Not only is he holding back their points at B, that hull contains points that they can score if they can get it off the board, and he is out of heals. He's using his last heal right now.
Keep an eye on Dark Sit, though. Dark Sit's already out of heals.
He is out of heals.
Back there in the Ohio, and the Henri's saying, hey, I get to open up an HE spam.
Yeah, I think the mistake from the daring there is going to allow RBMK to potentially win this game. It's going to be very, very close. Hammer's torpedoes on the St. Vincent may also make a big play here. They know Hammer's back here, but they don't have any idea where he is. And the St. Vincent doesn't have his hydro up. He doesn't have hydro. Oh, those are a little behind, but they're going to take 2.
I love this smoke, by the way, from Snoopy. Onto trying to get the Ohio dark. Question is it too little too late?
I think it is. It's going to be very, very tight. There, they get the Petro. That's a big kill, but they do lose the Ohio. Oh, man, this is close.
And now, honestly, at this point, all RBMK has to do is play Run for the Hills, turn the Henri around, get him out.
Look at the game timers. There are 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game, and that is exactly the amount of time that RBMK needs to win. So... If you are NTR, you have got to move up and get a kill. You cannot sit here.
Oh, watch the Des Moines.
Yep. Well,
no, he's got past them.
He's fine, but they're focusing the Henri. They've realized the Henri is the victory condition with less than 2 minutes to play. If they can kill the Henri, they'll win. I think. I'm pretty sure they'll flip the score in time to win. But if they can't kill him, then they probably won't.
It's also not just a question of that, but can Des Moines come out? Des Moines is using his heal right now.
They're going to get him right there.
A couple shots.
We're about to have a lead change. 90 seconds left to play, and NTR still trailing as the St. Vincent shells come in, but it's not quite enough for the kill. More Shimakaze torpedoes going in on Dorain. They're going to get him. They're going to get him. Oh, and I think he's flooding. He is. Oh, he was. He put it out. Holy cow, he's on 6K. There's the lead change. A 10-point lead with 60 seconds left to play. Yeah. What a way to start the day.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. And the St. Vincent heel popping out. And that thing is.
But they get him. They get him. That's the game right there. That's it. There's no way that Czech's played a brilliant game, but he can't carry them to victory now. What a great game.
I mean, if we get that level of games for everything, I'm pretty sure you and I will be just emotionally gone by the
Seriously,
end of this.
Give me more of these, man. This was fabulous.
Chex Rex desperately trying to get anything he can.
Anything he can. Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, the game is over, and your winner will be NTR.
What a hell of a game. Goodness gracious.
Absolutely, what a heck of a game.
Oh, a little bit of a tweak to make here, apparently. Let's see. Not that one. That one. There we go. All right.